morning and welcome to Sorry Me blog / podcast number, I think we're on number 5 or we're number 4. It must be 5 because it's May and I've been trying to do one a month. I'm Rachel, I'm Sorry Me. You can find me on Instagram as @SorryMe. You can also find my Etsy shop on Etsy where I'm Sorry Me UK, one word, all one word. It's the 31st of May, so I am literally squeezing this in at the very last minute. Yeah, May has been such a busy month for me in terms of my shop. I had a massive shop update last week, so I spent most of my spare time in the daytime making stock for the shop. So I got a massive pile made, which felt great because when I work, if I'm doing custom orders all the time, although I'm busy, I send them out as soon as I've made them, so I don't actually have like a big pile of stuff to see at the end of the week or the end of the month. You know, it's all gone, so I kind of get more of a sense of having done lots of work when I see the pile of stuff like from a shop. So that felt really good to be able to see that, and the shop update went out last week. I got a great response to that, so thanks if you ordered something. If you didn't order something and you want to take a look, there are still lots of items left. There's project bags, and I did have pouches, storage pouches and DPN pouches, but I think they've all gone, although I think there is one DPN pouch left, so go and have a look if you want to see what's left. I've brought myself out for another walk. How beautiful is this? This is just so nice. This is a local loch near us and you can walk all the way around it in about an hour, so that's what I'm going to do. I can hear so many birds, I can hear some geese. There's ducks on the water as well, and there's loads of other types of birds that I'm seeing as well. It's just amazing. Walking is definitely my preferred exercise, really. If I can get out into the sunshine, then even better. I've just came down to this little sort of inlet bit just to let some people pass because they were really loud and talking really loud, and it was kind of ruining my nice peaceful buzz. So I've let them get past with their dogs, and hopefully there'll be nobody around me now, and I can get back on my walk and enjoy it. This loch is man-made and it's all built around the site of an old mine, which you can just see. There's a mine there. I think it's like a replica. Yeah, the loch was man-made because the area was a bit kind of messy after they stopped mining, so they've made a loch, which is absolutely beautiful. Cows just there, not even in a field, just, oh my god. I'm just going to quickly continue walking. Don't know if you can see, but right in front, just here, there's a heron. Oh, there he is. Everywhere I go I seem to see herons. He's very camouflaged in all the reeds. So I would have posted some photos and videos from over that side and we've walked all the way around. And the car park is just around a corner around there. I've still got a little way to go yet, but this is just beautiful. It's so hot, but there's a little gentle breeze, so it's absolutely gorgeous. So glad I came out today. I'm going to go home and package up orders from my shop update last night. I had quite a few, which is brilliant. I'm not sure the people in the post office are going to enjoy serving me though, but that's the job for this afternoon. Meanwhile, I can just enjoy this a bit longer. After my update went live, I was packing for quite a while. I had such a sore back from leaning over the table wrapping parcels, but I can't complain because I had a nice big bag of packages to take to the post office the next day, so that was cool. I did film little bits throughout the month as usual, and I'm going to be popping them into the video here and there. I've had lots of feedback on that, and a lot of you have said you really like that format, which is good because I really like that format as well. This month, in between sewing, I seem to have done a lot of walks, so there's going to be quite a lot of footage from some of my walks. So if you're not interested in nature and outdoors, then you're going to be a little bit bored because there's a lot of walks and outdoors, and of course I do my volunteering as well, which is outdoors, so I'm going to be popping bits of footage in here. just had to open up my machine to change the light bulb, so I've done that. It was quite dusty in here, so I've given it a little bit of a clean, and since I'm in here I'm going to give it a quick oil as well. If you have a sewing machine, you may be one of these people who never oils it. However, I do think it's important for me to do all the maintenance on mine because I use it so often. So I've given it a good clean, and the bits you want to oil are the bits like here, which you'll see when the foot moves, that moves. So you want to keep that running smoothly. And I've got, you can buy machine oil, probably just got this in the sewing shop, I don't even remember. It's just got some liquid oil in it. So you just, I'm just going to squirt a little bit in there, just a tiny bit. You don't really want a lot because you don't want oil dripping out of it. So everywhere that it goes into a bit of a join, I'm just oiling and then just move it through a few times. If you give your machine a good clean out, and I'm just going to unthread that, it's going to get all tangled. Give it a good clean and give it an oil, and then when you start using it again, it will be a case of it purring like a pussycat. And you will notice a huge difference if you give it a bit of a clean and an oil. Especially for some people who I have seen and heard saying they never ever clean the machines. You take the bottom bit off as well, and in here it all comes out. Don't be afraid to take it apart, it's supposed to come apart. So in the back bit there, that bit goes round as well, so I will give that a little oil too. I'll show you it goes round. So you just want to put the oil in there. A little bit, not too much, you don't want it dripping with oil, and then just move it in a bit. I'm going to switch that on and just do that. If it's dripping, if you put a bit too much in, just use, you can use a tissue or a scrap of fabric just to wipe up any excess. It's a bit fiddly, but it's definitely worth doing. So that's that. Now I'm going to put it all back together and get back to work. In terms of personal crafting this month, it's been very quiet on that front. This always happens this time of year. I kind of lose interest in doing any knitting or crocheting or whatever in the evenings. But because it's been such a busy month work-wise as well, I'm just too tired and I just don't really want to. So I haven't made much progress on the 2 pairs of socks that I've got on the needles, which is annoying because the pinstriped pair, I'm literally just needing to do like another inch of sock and then I can do the cuff. I'm kind of annoying myself with that one because I just need to get it done, but I just can't really be bothered. I did pick up my rainbow striped socks the other day. This is the finished one. I've showed you that in a previous video. So I picked that up the other day and I managed to knit most of, well, that section there in sort of one evening, so that was quite good going. So I just need to keep going, and I'm just going to use my other sock, the first sock, as a guide when to stop for the heel, etc. So I know when I get down to the next blue section it'll be the heel. I haven't made notes on how many rows to do or anything with that one, so I'm just going to go with the yarn as my guide. So I haven't got very far with those either, so no finishes. They're in my little Ollie and Bella bag. So that's pretty much all I've got to show for personal crafting. Good morning. Today is Tuesday. I'm just heading out to the supermarket, but I've stopped off at the local park. I thought I'd take this chance to have a little walk since I'm out and about. It's a good way to start the day. The park's got a lovely big wildlife pond and a river, so I'm going to have a walk along the river, and there's a good chance of seeing dippers in the river, and there's the possibility of seeing all sorts of other wildlife as well. I'm always on the lookout for a kingfisher. I've never seen one in real life. I'd love to see one. And sometimes we get the heron around here, so I'm going to keep my eyes open, see what I can see today. I'm also going to have a little walk up to the orchard, which is the orchard that I showed you in my last video where I did some yarn bombing. So I'm just going to check on our trees, which we have realised are both plum trees. We haven't got an apple tree, which is kind of annoying because the apple tree in my garden has been ruined by, there's a little bug that's around just now, and it is apparently a winter tree moth, but what's doing all the damage is the larvae, which is little caterpillars, and they like fruit trees, and they've completely wrecked my apple tree. They've eaten all the buds, there's no buds, they've ruined all the leaves, so it's a right mess. So I'm really, really disappointed in that. Last night on Time Hop, a picture came up of beautiful healthy leaves, lovely pink blossom, and compared to this year, it's just, oh, it's awful. I did read up about these caterpillars. I googled it to see what it was, so this is how I know what they are. And apparently it won't damage the tree for next year or anything like that, but what I need to do is to put some like sticky bands or something around the trunks of the trees so that the caterpillars can't climb up the trees. The moths lay their eggs in the soil, and then the caterpillars climb up into the trees and ruin them. They've also ruined one of my nice roses as well, so I went out the other night and picked off a load of caterpillars off my rose bush, and I just put them all on the bird table, so hopefully the birds have got some of them. So yeah, my garden, some things in my garden have been kind of ruined this year, so I'm not very happy at that. Anyway, let's head out for a walk, see what we can see, and I shall take you with me, of course. Here we are at the orchard, and we can spot our tree a mile off because it's still got all the yarn bombing on it, which I'm happy to see. I didn't see any blossom on this tree, but it's maybe already blossomed. Oh, it was in blossom when I was yarn bombing it. So here we are, you can see some little plums starting to form. So that's good. There's lots of little plums starting to form. I'm not too familiar with plum trees really, so hopefully these all look as they should. There's some little plums coming. That's good. Something has been nibbling the leaves, but there are still plenty of fruit there, so it's nowhere near as bad as a tree at home. So that still looks fine, and I'm glad that the yarn bombing hasn't been touched. I'll go and check on the other tree as well, which I can already spot a mile off as well because I can see the pom-poms. That's made it so much easier yarn bombing the tree, because before we'd have to go and check all the labels because all the trees look the same, so it was pretty difficult to figure out whose tree was whose. So here we are. Oh, yeah, we've still got pom-poms. A little bit wet looking, but that's fine. And yeah, there's little plums on there, teeny little plums. This tree produced the really, really teeny little plums that were called Mirabelle plums, and they were yellow, and they were really, really lovely. We picked them up. They were a bit of a pain because they're so tiny. They were about that size, really small, about kind of an end of your thumb. So to cut out the stones were pretty big in them as well, so you didn't actually get a lot of fruit, but they were very nice. I think I made some jam and put them into crumbles and things like that. Look at the thousands and thousands of dandelions. Actually, it's quite pretty. You wouldn't want all that in your garden, of course, but it looked quite nice. So peaceful up here. We are quite near the road though, so you can maybe hear the road, but once you get further down into the park, it's just lovely because you can hear all the birds and the river. So I'm going to go down and have my walk by the river now. I've checked on the trees, and probably won't be back here for another couple of months now, and then we'll hopefully be able to see a lot more fruit on the trees. walk and I've just started to have a look through my little bird book because I saw a bird in the park that I wasn't very familiar with, and what I think it was a cuckoo. It's quite big. It was just a little smaller than a pigeon, but I did notice that its front had these sort of markings and they were kind of like a thrush. It did look a bit like a thrush, but it was way bigger. So I think it's a cuckoo. I've bought some stuff. I've bought some fabric. After having a big sale in my shop, I usually tend to want to order some new fabrics because I find that when I get new fabrics I get a whole new burst of enthusiasm on wanting to put fabrics together and stuff. So I ordered some new fabrics. I probably don't need new fabrics, but I did. So I ordered some online, and I also ended up going to IKEA the day after I'd made a really big order online. So I bought quite a lot of fabrics from IKEA. And then I'm just swing the camera around because if I pick that pile up it'll just fall. So that is some of my new fabrics. Some of these florals are so pretty. Like, turn you back. These ones in particular, I really like that. It's just so beautiful. And I got that one. I ordered it online. I hadn't realised that the dots were actually metallic, so it's like gold specks through it. It's really nice. So that's going to make a nice project bag. That'll be great for the cuff. I like to have the cuff as something just a little bit interesting. So I can't wait to start cutting into these fabrics. I forgot to say this earlier when I was showing you what I got at IKEA. So I'm just filming it and going to pop the bit of film in the right place. I've got this really lightweight calico fabric. It's very thin, very lightweight, and my plan for this is to make some drawstring bags, simple drawstring bags in different sizes, and I'm going to use these for produce for the supermarket. Quite often it works out cheaper to buy fruit and veg loose. If you look at the labels at the bottom of the price label, it always tells you the price per kilo, and if you compare this to the fruit and veg in bags, you'll find that often the loose stuff is cheaper. So you know, everybody wins. We get our stuff cheaper, and if you reuse your own bags, then you're not using a single-use plastic bag that they come in. So this has been on my to-do list for a really long time, and I just haven't got around to doing it yet. But the style of bag that I'm going to make is just going to be a really simple. You just need a long rectangle of fabric, and on the top edge you just need to, well, I would fold that down and then fold it down again, and then if you just sew along the bottom there to sew it down, then what you've made is a channel, and you could thread your drawstring cord through there at the end. So you just make your drawstring channel like that, and then you would do it inside out. What would you do? I'm getting confused. So you would then fold your rectangle over and sew, you know, down the bottom of your rectangle to sew it closed, and then when you turn that out inside out, you've got a drawstring bag. You just need to thread your casing through that. I'm probably not talking sense there at all. I have a little drawstring bag here. I can just show you an example. These are ones that I made. These are lined. I mean, the ones that I would make for fruit and veg wouldn't be lined, they'd be completely simple. So you've basically got a channel at the top for your drawstring cord. This is lined. Again, it wouldn't be lined, so it's just going to be a really simple drawstring bag. And I'm going to do those when I do the produce ones. I'm not going to have a cord at each end. It would just be a continuous, that won't have a hole there, so it'll just be a continuous channel like I've just showed you with the calico, and your drawstring will just close at one end, so it'll just be like that. So they're going to be really simple. I have got a whole metre of the fabric, so there's going to be more than enough there for myself. If I do make some extras, I might just pop them in my shop because I'm sure they'll be really popular. Another thing to mention, I have pre-washed the fabric because that's an item that once it's made into a bag, you're going to need to wash the bag from time to time because it will get grubby. So if you're going to wash anything that you make, always pre-wash the fabric first, because fabric will always shrink slightly, and that's perfectly normal. and it's better for it to shrink before you've sewn it, because if you sew something and then wash it and that shrinks, it's going to make a bit of a mess because you've already stitched it, so it'll try and shrink, but your stitches might not shrink at the same rate because the thread that you use won't shrink at the same rate as your fabric. So it's always a good idea to pre-wash fabric, and especially if you're making quilts or clothing or cushions, you know you're going to want to wash them afterwards, so always pre-wash your fabrics. And if you're using a darker fabric, then it will get out a lot of the dye as well. You don't want your quilts to dye after they've been sewn up, because you don't want any dark colours to go into lighter colours and stuff. So top tip there, pre-wash your fabric if you're going to wash your items. Just gone through the kitchen to whip up some healthy sweet snacks. I'm going to make these apricot toffee bites, and they use unsulfured dried apricots, so it's not the bright orange ones that you get most commonly. I found the unsulfured ones and they're black, and I got these in Costco, and I've never tried them before, but according to Fern Cotton, they have a nice toffee flavour, so I'm going to have a go at these apricot toffee balls. And I've got all my ingredients ready, and I'm making a mess, so I'm going to crack on with these, and then I'll pop them in the fridge, and hopefully I can have a couple tonight with my cup of tea. I've rolled them all up. They're pretty small, these ones. It does say the recipe makes 18 to 20 balls. I don't think I've got quite that many. What have I got 2 for? I got 14. Hers must be really, really little, tiny balls. So I have had these in the fridge for a little while, and they've firmed up nicely. So that is going to be good to try. While I was making some little healthy sweet treats, I've also got some of these. Now, these are dates that I've stuffed with peanut butter, and I've just topped with some of that what is it called? Choc shot stuff, and it's a healthy chocolatey sauce. It's made from carob, and it gives it a nice chocolate flavour. These are the fancy dates. I can't remember if they're the negligee ones or the other ones. I've forgotten their name. I got these from a fruit and veg stall, and they're lovely and juicy and chewy, and they do taste very caramelly. If you're one of these people who's a bit dubious about all these snacks that contain dates, and there's a lot of posts on Instagram and Pinterest about having dates as a sweet snack, don't turn your nose up at them until you've tried them, because I absolutely love them, and I've got the sweetest tooth ever. One of the recipes that I like best with dates is on Livia's Kitchen website, and it's for raw Snickers slab, and if you blend up dates for long enough, they'll turn into date caramel, and it is amazing. And you mix in peanut butter with it, so it's like peanut buttery caramel, just like a Snickers, and you have a base and then the caramel, and then you put chocolate topping on the top, and it is amazing. Just a little note on these. These are probably what you're more used to seeing for dried apricots, but these contain lots of nasties, whereas these ones, it says no added sugar, gluten-free, and they're unsulfured. I don't really know what that means, but it's a lot better for you than these ones. And these are quite dry. They've got a really strong taste, which if you don't like taste, I would suggest you try these. These are soft and squidgy and really, really nice, and I think I will probably use these quite a lot more in future in place of dates in the energy balls and like raw brownies and stuff. They're really, really nice, and they're extremely sweet. So again, if you've got a sweet tooth and you just want something that's natural to eat, then these would be a really nice alternative, and you wouldn't need a lot either. That recipe only had 10 of the dried apricots in it, so they really work well in giving you a sort of squishy mixture. So this recipe is from Fern Cotton's book, Cook Happy, Cook Healthy, and this is a really good book. There's lots of recipes, sweet and savoury, and the sweet ones all contain no refined sugar, and they are all gluten free as well. So if you need those things in your diet, then this is a really good book. And even if you don't need those things in your diet, you should be looking at having less refined sugar and less of the bad fats as well. I just wanted to also say I do try to cut out refined sugar because I do have sort of skin issues like spots and stuff, and I do notice a huge difference when I cut out refined sugar. So if that's something that bothers you, you may want to just have a look at cutting out refined sugar. There's plenty of alternatives that are natural. Always go for something natural. So in cakes, for example, the recipe book here uses coconut sugar, which is kind of a light brown sugar, so it gives your cakes a bit more of a kind of caramelly flavour, a caramelly colour. This book's really lovely. I've made a few of the recipes, sweet and savoury. And there's the balls again. So it's Joshua's bedtime now, so he's going to bed. I'm going to get a cup of tea and I'm going to sample some of my healthy sweet snacks. Today is Friday, and because we're in Scotland we don't get the same school holidays that England have. England, I think, have a week or two off at the moment. We don't get that. We've got Monday and Tuesday off next week, so that means that my sewing time next week is going to be quite limited. I usually volunteer on a Thursday, so I'm not sure whether I'll manage to fit that in or whether I'll just want to stay at home and catch up on more sewing. Also, being in Scotland, our summer holidays, school breaks off the last Friday in June, so I think it's the 28th or the 29th of June, which, considering it's June tomorrow, that's not long, so that doesn't leave me long to work either, which is kind of put me in a slight panic. I kind of have decided that in school holidays, what I want to achieve is to have my shop stocked with stuff before the holidays, and that way I don't feel too pressured throughout the school holidays to have to work, because it's quite difficult to find the time to do that. So I also want to do another big shop update in June, and I also have, that leads me nicely onto something new that I want to talk to you about. I've been thinking for some time now about introducing something like a box, a themed box, a surprise kind of box. Not necessarily a box, but it seems to work calling it a box. Anyway, I did a Christmas mystery box the past 2 years and they went down really well, and I had so much fun sourcing stuff for the boxes and making stuff for them. And I had been asked would I be doing like a monthly box or other themed boxes, so finally I have decided to bite the bullet and just get on with it. So in my Etsy shop now you will find some pre-orders for the very first themed Sorry Me box, and the theme of the first box is, I actually have a very nice little prop that I made. Bees. The theme for the first box will be bees. I made this a couple of months ago on a whim. I just suddenly had an urge to make a bee, a crocheted bee. So I found this tutorial online. The box is not going to contain one of these bees. This is just, I realised I had this hanging over there and I don't think I've shown you it, so I thought I'd show you it just now. So, the boxes. The boxes will contain a project bag, not this project bag, but one in this size. This is one of my small project bags which are perfect for socks or any other kind of dinky project. So the project bag will be in the theme of the box. So this month's theme being bees will be a bee themed project bag. You'll also get a custom dyed mini skein of yarn, and this month, or not this month, this time, I've asked Michelle from Wild Rose Yarns to work with me and to dye up some yarn to go in with the project bags. So she's going to be working on that, which is really exciting, and I love the fact that I can include other makers in my my themed packs as well. So you're going to get project bag, a mini skein of yarn, along with some other themed gifts, and I'm not going to tell you any information about those because I want them to be a surprise. They're not going to be specifically knitting or crochet or craft related gifts, they're just gifts that fit in with the theme. So I am hoping, well no, I need to have these done by the end of June, so they'll be getting posted out sometime probably the last week of June. So like I said, pre-orders are open now. They're in my shop if you want to go over and have a look, if you want to order one. Numbers will be limited, or I'm only going to list as many as I know that I can manage in the next few weeks. So boxes are totally one-offs. I'll be doing the bee theme this month and then it won't get done again. So, you know, miss it and you miss out basically. So yeah, they're in my shop. I'm really excited about these. I can't wait to get all the things that I've been sourcing, and I can't wait to put the boxes together, and for those of you who order them, I can't wait for you to receive them, because it is true what they say, it's better to sort of give gifts than to receive them, and although this isn't a gift, it still feels like I'm getting surprises for you and you're going to unwrap them and it's going to be a real treat for you. So yeah, I don't know how often I'm going to do the boxes. It's just going to be a totally as and when I have time and whenever the right, you know, time is to launch a new one. Probably won't do another one now till after the summer holidays, because I'm not going to manage to do it over the school holidays, I don't think. I have got lots and lots of ideas for future boxes and for future themes, and I've chatted to a few other yarn dyers as well, so there will be a different yarn dyer with each box. So I'm really excited to get going with that. So the ball has started to roll and I should be able to start working on the project bags next week, and once I've got final numbers I can then order the extra goodies, and I can't wait to get them all in. So that is what's new happening this month. That's something that I have planned for ages, and I finally just thought, just get it done with, because sometimes these ideas just go round and round your head and the only thing you have to do is just get on with them. So finally got on with that. Good morning, it is a Thursday, and of course that means volunteering day with the National Trust for Scotland. So we're off to Falkland Palace. It's a really nice drive once we get out into the countryside, so I'm going to flip the camera around and let you have a look. So let's go. Well, that's me finished now after a very busy day of volunteering. I didn't manage to get a lot of video because there was a lot of people around and I feel a bit self-conscious taking videos. I spent most of the day in the labyrinth. We've got a living willow labyrinth and it was quite straggly, so it needs all tying in and weaving in again. And there was a few of us working on it today and it's nowhere near finished yet, so hopefully we'll get the chance to work on it again a bit more in some other weeks. So I'm just going to head home now. I'm going to pick Joshua up. He's at my mum's. I put a chicken curry in the slow cooker this morning, so I cannot wait to get home and get that. I'm so glad that my dinner's going to be made for me. Have much other news to tell you. I did kind of warn you that I did feel like my crafting and that would kind of die out a bit and I would run out of things to show you, and that's kind of happening now. But there's plenty of other things I've been up to this month that I'm going to pop in throughout the video. Oh, I've just realised I could show you these. I really like the idea of having like big piles of blankets in the sitting room and around the house. And I did have intentions of making crochet blankets and stuff, but I haven't got around to it. So I have a few in the sitting room, and someone on Instagram often makes blankets and sells them. So I've been watching her feed for quite a while, and I eventually just thought, I saw two that I loved, and I thought, I'm just going to buy them now because I keep seeing ones that I like and then I miss out on them. So I bought these two blankets, and I think they are absolutely beautiful. So we've got a granny square one, that's kind of a duck egg blue join, and then we've got this one which is a granny square, and I just absolutely love the colours that she's put together. I don't think I would ever have come up with that combination of colours. They're quite vibrant, but they're beautiful, and it's got lovely scalloped edging. These are kind of just lap sizes, so quite small, but I think if you want to just layer them up, you can have, you can use 2 or 3 at a time. So I've got a little box in my sitting room, a basket, like a wire basket, and what I've been doing with my blanket collection is just standing them up on end, roll them up, and then just sort of stack them all into the basket. And I think that looks really nice. They just sit by the fireplace, and then if you're chilly in the evenings you can just grab a blanket. So yep, and I've put that one in the back of my chair just for now because I was using that as a prop when I took my photos for my Etsy shop update, and it looked really nice with the project bags next to it, and they go so nicely together as well. So I'm really pleased with those. The shop I bought them from, she's called Tilly Makes on Instagram, and I'll write that down underneath the video as well if you want to check that out. I usually mention what I've been watching as well. I have really struggled to make time for doing things this month, like watching vlogs and podcasts. I tend to flip between doing that or like just binging on Netflix, and I've kind of binged on Netflix this month quite a bit, so that's probably where my time's gone in terms of the evenings and stuff. But when I do have a spare moment, I've been catching up with Ollie and Bella because Cherie's been doing daily vlogs in May, so that's been really good to keep track of her. Not keep track of her, that sounds a bit stalkery, but to keep up with Cherie. So that's been nice because over the past few months someone has done like a daily vlog each month, and I've been toying with doing it for June, so watch this space. You may see daily vlogs popping up from me throughout June. I don't have any major plans in June, so it'll be maybe quite quiet, but it'll be quite nice, and it will be quite a good contrast to the December daily vlogs that I did for Vlogmas, because December's always busy because you're doing Christmassy things, and I think it will be a nice sort of contrast as well to see how life is kind of a little bit different in December to it is in June. So it'll be a nice contrast, and it'll be nice to do the vlogs again kind of 6 months apart. And obviously there'll be a lot more outdoor stuff and daytime stuff because the weather's a lot lighter and it's not dark at 4:30. So hopefully there will be a big contrast, really, because I was going out and about in December in the dark, really. So maybe I'm being a bit optimistic and thinking that I'll manage to keep it up, but we'll see. And if need be, then I can always just do a couple of days at once and just put like a video up every few days. Tomorrow is Saturday the 1st of June, and we do have some exciting plans for tomorrow actually, so I'm not going to tell you what they are. So yeah, stay tuned, and you should get a notification if I put up a daily vlog anyway, hopefully. If you want to get a notification, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you click the little bell, I think then you get a notification when I post new videos. I would also like to keep the videos quite short. They got a bit long in December, but then I didn't have a podcasty vlog as well, so that was my sort of only outlet for talking to you. So some of them got a little bit long. I think I got a bit carried away with myself. I would like to keep these ones quite short because uploading takes a while as well. I mean, even uploading a video that's an hour, I think the last one took about 3 hours to upload to YouTube. So it's a lengthy process, plus there's all the editing as well. So if I'm doing June vlogs, I will be trying to keep it really short. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope there wasn't too much footage of me going for walks. I do try to go for walks as my exercise because I don't really want to I can't be bothered with much other exercise, to be honest. I would rather go out for a walk and see a bit of nature and a bit of sunshine and fresh air. My friend is coming around this morning actually, and hopefully we're going to go out for a walk. It was forecast for like 70% chance of rain, but it's not raining at the moment, so fingers crossed we will get the chance to go for a little walk, so that will be nice. And then the rest of the day will be spent editing the video, putting it together and uploading the video, and then it's back to the sewing. I've already started to cut out some of my new fabric, so I can't wait to sew that up and see what it looks like as bags and storage pouches, etc. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me, and if you want to keep up with me, just remember to subscribe. That would be great. My follower numbers have been going up really steadily over the last, well, this past month they've gone up a lot, but over the past 6 months since I started the YouTube channel they've gone up and up and up, which is great. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for leaving me comments. I do like to hear comments and to get feedback from you, just to know what you enjoyed. If you're enjoying the videos, give me the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button under the video, because then I know that you like what I'm doing as well. Okay, I shall leave it for there, and I will hopefully see you again tomorrow. Bye.